Yo, this is Saint Sergi, and you're now listening to Valley Views on 101.5 FM. Check it out.
And now you are tuned in to Valley Views with your host Hector and co-host Carlos.
Yo, it's Fernando. Shouts out to Valley Views, man. They played me on the station. I was like, let me make you a jingle. So this is my jingle I made for this. This is what I had to do. This is Valley Views. This is what I had to do. This is Valley Views. Got me singing like, eh, eh, eh. So what you want? Got me singing like, eh, eh, eh. So what you want? Got me singing like, eh, eh, eh. So what you want? Got me singing like, eh, eh, eh. So what you want? I wasn't tripping when I lost my job. No reason to lie to my mom. Now I've got 8, 9 to 5, y'all. I was like, right on, right on, right on. No work on weekends, eh? Waking up early, sleep at 8. I think I'm surely dreaming, eh? Just look at what Burns achieving, eh? 20 pro skater, I'm gonna grind. Not one opportunity I will decline. I show up early like people time. Jokes and truth, I jot in the rhyme. Chicano house to Omatu now. To a song with y'all in his papa's house. 8182 San Diego. Become a legend in the valley like Danny Trejo. This is what I had to do. This is Valley View. This is what I had to do. This is Valley View. Got me singing like, eh, eh, eh. So what you want? Got me singing like, eh, eh, eh. So what you want? Got me singing like, eh, eh, eh. So what you want? Got me singing like, eh, eh, eh. So what you want?
Yes, that's right. That's our new intro, y'all. Good morning. My name is Hector, your host here of Valley Views. We got my co-host right here, riding right here, shotgun with me, Carlos.
Hey.
What's up? And just want to give a big shout out to that's one of our new intros actually of our show. Big shout out to Saint Sergi actually, who you heard him there. He's a local hip hop artist, and then also big shout out to Fernando Pay as well for that Los Lovely Valley Views theme that we've been rolling since and rocking since since right before the pandemic hit. Actually, it was about February or so, about 2 years ago now that he hooked it up with that theme song, and it's just, I just love it. I love it. We just want to, it's a Super Sunday, but it's a Super Sunday for all kinds of reasons, primarily because of our guests that we have here, really. Hey. And people were like, oh, really? It's Super Bowl? No, not because of that. Here on KROJ 101.5 FM Valley Views, it's because we have Alexys Romo in the house. How are you from Black Thumb Farm? Hey. How's it going, Alexys? Let's just bring you straight into the conversation already.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm so excited to be here. And, it's a Super Sunday for many reasons. One, we get to eat all the Super Bowl food.
Right,
delicious.
Right.
2, we get to be in here. So I don't even know there's a game today.
Right. No, absolutely. And it's just good to have you here in our studios, and also just so we can have just a really good conversation. It was really great to we've already done an on the spot interview a couple months ago when we went out to the Black Thumb Farm. Big shout out, as of course, to Elliot over there in that Cottonwood as well. But tell me a little bit about, first of all, Alexys, one of the things we like to start off with is just, how's your mind, body, and spirit right here, right now, as we're getting started?
Oh, wow. I love that. I love it. I'm feeling really good today. I started running again a few weeks ago, and this morning, for the first time ever, I went for a run with my 4-year-old. All right. She was like so excited to go for a run with me, and she kept up the whole time. Hey, I was shook.
That's what's up.
Yeah, it put me in a good spirit this morning of getting moving, getting your body moving, but getting outside. It's a beautiful day here in LA, and then getting to spend some time with the kiddos. I mean, they're so cute. So.
Yeah. So that's good. That means there's some progress there. You could actually do some more of that too.
Yes.
With your kiddo.
Yeah, I know, right? I was like, Olympics, here we come. Yeah.
That was she was the one that when I interviewed you, she was like right there.
Oh yeah, she's my assistant. She's my director. She's my boss. Yeah, she's a firecracker, that one. Yeah, I gotta keep up.
There you go. And tell me a little bit about as far as what in general do you do before you get all into it, since we're just talking about mind, body, and spirit? What are some things that help you to just stay grounded?
Yeah. I think spending a lot of time with family. I know all of us have really had to lock in time with family because of COVID, and we've had so many quarantines. But something that we started doing in our family was trying to have like specific special time to do different things. So like once a week we go out as a family to something in nature. So like going to, you know, if you're here in the valley, going to Balboa Park, right? Going to look at some ducks or something, or going to Old Melvody and going on a hike up in Granada Hills, whatever it is, or going to Griffith Park. And then also being able to like do something active. So of course, like by trade, I'm a farmer and gardener, and I'm always outside working with the animals, plants, and things like that.
And I can't wait to talk about that.
I know, right? I know, right? So that helps too, but also just making sure I do things that are slow, because you know it's I feel like this is a very stressful time for probably everybody. Yeah, I think students have it stressful. I think parents have it stressful. I think if you're just even people who are, you know, young and single or older and single, it's just, you know, it's a stressful situation. So
like too much sometimes. You
yeah,
know? Like
it is. Yeah, it's a lot. So taking time to make sure you like connect with community is a big deal. I don't think I was as intentional before COVID about that, but now I'm like, you know, you got to do it safely, of course. You know, wear your mask, be around people that you know have not had contact and things like that. But like, be intentional about that has really helped my mind, body, and spirit for sure. Yeah, to just stay connected to community. I
like that. And Carlos, I mean, like, I like that, like the intentionality of just like, even like kind of like the whole idea of like being present in the moment. You know, it's like really important. But like, what about you, Carlos? Like, as far as like, just how's your
I agree with her as well. I mean, like, at least like how you said, like, just like how you manage time, and like you kind of want to do different things, but it's so stressful at the end of the day. Even like regarding like, let's just say like COVID, you got that going on. You got all these regulations that are just so scary to like just begin with. But like at the end of the day, it's just like about being safe and stuff, you know. But it's scary.
It is. It's a lot, and I think it's hard because there's so much information too. But I feel like the only thing you can do is like try to be consistent, you know, like try to be consistent about the people you see, trying to be consistent about like taking your safety measures, try to be consistent about being open and having those conversations that are super awkward, right? It's super awkward when someone wants to come kick it and you're like, have you had a COVID test? Are you vaccinated? Like, those conversations are very uncomfortable and awkward, but like, I feel like,
but they're real.
They're like, real, right?
You have to like be able to like now normalize that.
Totally,
you know what I
mean? you do, because everyone's trying to keep each other safe, right? So you're trying to be safe and you're trying to keep other people safe. So yeah, it's hard though. You're right. It takes a lot of intentionality, and it takes a lot of just being like, oh, this is gonna be weird for a minute.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah, and I think you know, like just going back to that point of like, like just being present, or like just figuring out like just being honest with people, I think is so important, and that's kind of like puts you in that present moment too, you know.
100%.
And you know, I've noticed that when you know, obviously sometimes because like you're so busy and rushed, like when people are like, hey, how are you, you're just like, oh, I'm good, you know, how are you? Good, you know, when in reality both of us might not be good,
right? Ain't nobody good. You know
what I mean? So you know, sometimes I'm like, you know, I would consider myself a pretty positive person, but sometimes it's just like you also have to show a little bit of like your humanity and like your vulnerability, you know. And so sometimes I'm just like, well, you know, I'm okay today, and they're like, are you all right? It's like, because you know, we're always used to saying that good, or sometimes I'll be like just straight up, you know what, I'm just surviving today.
Right.
And, you know, and it's not like to like, again, put any pressure on anybody that I'm saying hi to, that like, you know, they got to do something about it, but just so that they know, you know. And usually like you find the people around you that you could kind of, when they hear that, they kind of know, you know. And then if they're like, if they have that time to kind of, hey, so what's up, then it's, you know, you kind of leave that door open, or a little bit of that window open. But yeah, I mean, I think it's important that we just have check-ins with each other. You know?
So true.
At the farm, we do this thing we learned from Brene Brown, who's this like, you know, world-renowned author and social worker therapist. She does all these things. She, in her company, they do this thing called a 2-word check-in, and whenever they have meetings, they kind of check in with each other with their 2 words, so that everybody knows where you're at. And you don't have to dive into it. Oh my God. You don't have to like explain yourself. You just give your 2 words so everybody kind of knows where you're at, and then you're able to like conduct, you know, whatever you're doing. But if someone's really struggling, it gives you an opportunity to come back at the end and be like, yo, are you good? Are you all right? Like, up? Because like sometimes like we do it at the farm on Saturdays when we like, when the kids come in and we're like, yo, 2-word check-in, and sometimes they're like, you know, I'm excited and I'm thrilled, and you're like, dope, perfect. Some kids come in and they're like, I'm stressed and I'm overwhelmed, and you're like, all right, and we don't talk about it right then, but then at the end I'm like, when I got a minute, I come reach out, hey, are you okay? I heard you're stressed, overwhelmed. Exactly. So the 2-word check-in is like, we swear by it. We do it in all our meetings. That's
cool. 2-word check. We might need to try that in a little bit. You know? I'll tell you right now, I'm so in a way, like a little tired in a good way, but that's like, gosh, I don't know if I could think of 2 words.
I know. You could say that too. Sometimes I'm like, yo, my mind is blank and I'm just trying to get through, you know?
Right.
I'm on autopilot right now.
Right. That's your word. Autopilot.
Autopilot.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
You know, just surviving right now still. You know?
Yeah. Sometimes when the girl says, I'm here, I'm like, okay, that's good. All right.
Yeah, right. Hey, just thank you for being here at least.
Yeah,
you know
exactly,
what I mean?
right? Yeah, you showed up.
Absolutely. And then, you know, Carlos, Carlos was doing some stuff with, you know, he did a takeover actually last week. Right? He was completely the host and all that good stuff. He brought in his own guests. And, you know, I know you work a lot with youth. You know, Carlos is a youth. He's the senior class president over at Arleta. And, you know, he had a lot of, like, you know, high schoolers here, like, to talk about different things, including things related to, like, mental health. And then, you know, just what kids, youth in high school are going through right now, right? Like just everything, life, school, like college applications, etc. But you work with high schoolers at Black Thumb. And before we get into that, you know, just tell us a little bit about, you know, you say you're a farmer. When, like, have you always been a farmer? Like, how's that connectedness to the land for you?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Okay, so it actually is very hard for me to even say I'm a farmer. The only, like, I just started saying that recently because, well, like, Elliot, you know, from Cottonwood, shout out to Elliot.
Yeah, big shout out to Elliot.
Elliot is constantly squashing my imposter syndrome when I'm like, I'm not a farmer. He's like, you're out here farming, you're a farmer. Like, you know, you're growing food, you're a farmer. Yeah, exactly. So but no, not at all. I grew up in Van Nuys.
Okay.
Down the street. And then I went to Northridge Academy High School.
All right.
And
Northridge Academy.
Yeah, yes. I'm like from the valley, like this is my hood.
100.
And you know, there's like, you know, Cottonwood was not around when I was in high school.
God,
you know, it's
or else you probably would have been there.
I know, exactly, right?
Somehow, some way.
I would have found a way over there. Nah, man, I didn't grow food at all till I was 19. So like my grandma who lives, both my grandparents are all from Oklahoma. So like my grandparents have grown up.
Out there.
Yeah, they for real, right? So my grandpa, he has a crazy story. He like, you know, I'm Black. My grandpa's Black. He grew up picking cotton when he was little. Like he's like a couple generations away from like enslaved people, right? Yeah. So like he has
plantation kind of lifestyle.
Exactly.
Sadly,
like yeah.
You know?
And that's in our, not his, mine, you know, he's my grandpa. Like that's in our lineage. And so he grew up growing all kinds of food. He has like for sure a green thumb. He knows how to grow anything. And then my other grandma, she grew up like growing strawberries and stuff. But like we only ever participated when we went to visit our grandparents. We didn't do that in Van Nuys. I was like playing ball. I thought I was going to be the first girl in the NBA. Like I did not farm. So
that was your thing.
That was, yes. I was like, I play basketball all day, every day. So when I graduated high school, I knew I didn't want to go to college because I was like, I'm not interested in a lot of stuff, but I wanted to play ball. So I did end up going to like a junior college in Maryland, and then
watch out, baller
ready.
over here too.
I mean, you know.
Gosh, I wish I would have brought a basketball.
I
know?
mean, let me just run off my stats real quick. I'm just playing. No, it's been a minute.
I'll just have to wrap my ankles because I haven't played ball in such a long time.
Same.
Didn't you get beat by one of your students?
Dang.
Okay, Estrella actually, like let's just put it this way. She's a shorty. She's a short. No. She's a shorty. I don't know if I should say this or not. That's but anyway, she's a little shorty. And we were playing basketball. Not to digress so much. We'll come back right down to that. But she ended up. We played basketball. I was subbing for a PE teacher. I come back to fourth. We're in the same class, and I'm like, everybody, she beat me. She dunked on me. So I don't know. Do you believe that or not?
I mean, she's a 10th grader, bro.
Sure, we'll leave it at that. Estrella knows what happened.
Shout out to Estrella.
Shout out.
Coming in with the hops.
Right.
I see it.
So anyway,
I love it.
Back to Alexys over here.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Well, I mean, Estrella should be on my team for sure.
Right,
but yeah, I didn't play ball in a minute. But yeah, I basically I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but I worked hard. I had a good work ethic because I played sports, right?
True.
So I knew how to hustle. So anyway, my parents were basically just like, if you're not going to go to school, you got to get a job. Like, you got to just stay active. They never pushed me into any direction, which, you know, shout out to my parents because they let me do me.
That's definitely a different style of, like, parenting, which is dope, too.
Yeah. They were just like,
it's healthy, too.
It was very good for me. And I will say, they didn't do that for all my siblings, right? Like, I got a little sister with a master's. I got a little brother getting a PhD. Like, you know.
But it's good that they let you figure out what you wanted to do at the end of the day.
Exactly. It was for me.
Yeah,
and I was rebellious, and I was hard-headed, and I was, you know, it was like, if you're going to fight me on this, that's not going to go in any good direction anyway. You know, we got a lot of youth like that who are like, I don't know what I'm doing, but, you know, don't push me into no direction. And we really got to give them options, you know, and you got to, and time to explore that. So I ended up like volunteering to go to work at this orphanage in the Philippines. I was going to run a basketball camp. That's why I went there.
Oh, tight.
And then I got there and everything changed. I am like living in this rural village in the Philippines. I'm like living with these orphans, learning how to grow food because they grow their own food here, working with chickens. I ain't never done none of this. Like I ain't never seen a mango tree, let alone like
she said working with chickens.
I don't even need
like who's your colleague?
Chicken.
My chicken.
Right.
You know what I mean?
For real. It was like that was not how I grew up. It was like a culture shock to the fullest. And
What
it was
a
like
trip.
so beautiful though, because I thought I was gonna go there and just play ball, and I ended up getting the first day I was there. The girl wakes me up at like 5:30 in the morning, the mom of the house, and she's like, "Hey, we're gonna go get the cassava for breakfast." I'm like, "Okay, whatever that means." So I just like get my shoes on, go outside. We're like, she hands me a machete. We get and then she's like, "Okay, so this is the plant. You gotta cut off the tree, dig out the root, and then we're gonna clean it." She's like teaching me how to do stuff. I've been in the Philippines for like 72 hours.
Wow.
Okay.
3 days in.
Hey, that's the way to do it though, you know?
Right? She was like, "You can get your hands dirty today." So anyway, we end up processing this plant. We clean it, we like scrape it, all this with a machete, like no house, no like fancy knives, nothing. And then go inside, mash it, make the porridge. The kids wake up, we feed them. It was my first experience of like growing a plant, harvesting a plant, eating it. And after
that must have been like a culture shock too, huh?
I was shook. And I was 19. So I was like, I've never seen anything like this. I've never done anything like this in a country where there's like a different language, different, like everything.
Like everything's just so different.
So different. And it blew my mind and changed my life forever. I came back to the US and I was like, I can't believe we eat this bad food. I can't believe things are better. And like, I was in a like, you know, a developing country eating better than I eat here in like Los Angeles. What is the deal? So anyway, that's how my farm journey started.
Jeez.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But you know what? It goes to also show then like how once you kind of actually see the connection to the land, the food, and that process, it definitely gives you a different perspective. Like when you're consuming food, you know what I mean? It's not the same anymore, right? After that,
it's totally different. You see food completely differently when you actually are like working with it, especially when you have to like pick it, clean it, prepare it. You even eat slower, dude. Like you for real are like, I'm not about to rush and eat this. It took me 3 hours to prepare this. You know, like I've been outside harvesting.
That's true.
Yeah, exactly. Like, cause I mean, this whole idea of fast food, you know, it's like, you know, I mean, like you said, like it ain't like we grow it fast. Although, you know, obviously the, you know, the fast food industry as a whole, obviously they do things to, I guess, speed up the process of animals and you know, plants and all that stuff, unfortunately. But you're right. It goes to show though, like when you actually have that connection, you even appreciate it more. And I think actually I've heard it's actually healthier to actually eat slower than like to gobble away, you know.
In so many countries they eat so much slower than us. Like mealtime is like, you know, the idea of even like a siesta, like you know, you're eating your meal for the first 45 minutes. You're sitting at the table eating. I mean, I could eat dinner in like 3 minutes if somebody timed me. I'm like, go ahead, go in, you know. And I'm sure most of us could, because we just live in this culture of like get her done,
Quick.
But our bodies don't even work like that. Like our bodies don't break down the food that we eat in 3 minutes. You know, it's like that's gonna take a full day to digest. So there's the layers within that are just they're infinite. They could go forever.
And how long were you over in the Philippines then for?
I was there for 3 months.
3 months.
So which sounds like a short amount of time, but then when you actually go,
when after like 72 hours you're already doing what you just said. Come on now, it sounds like after 3 months you experienced a lot.
Oh yeah, I mean I learned that trip changed everything about the way I live. Like if I never did that, I wouldn't be the person I am today. So I'm always like, when kids tell me like I want to take a gap year, and I'm like, do something with your gap year. You know, like have a plan, travel, go see something new, get volunteer, go like, you know, whatever
like,
it is.
Don't just stay home.
Yeah, no, like don't stay home trying to find yourself. Like go out there, get an experience, because it can really change your life for real. But Yeah,
and even if it doesn't, they got that experience under their belt.
Yeah, and you never know when that's gonna help you, right? Like
True.
it will change youth. That's always my push with the youth. Is like I'm always asking the kids, like, have you traveled? Do you want to travel? What kind of foods are you eating? Are you diversifying the cultures around you? Are you, you know, what kind of mentors do you have? Are you learning from different kinds of people so you can like gather that stuff in? You know, because it's a lot of pressure on young people to like. Even me asking Carlos this morning, like, oh, what's your major gonna be? Like, why should you even know that? You know, you're
Alexys
like
all
17.
pressing over here.
I know, my bad. My bad.
I feel a little bit intimidated right now. I'm joking.
Carlos is like, I didn't even have my coffee today.
I know.
Chill, you know?
I just got here. I
Yeah,
know, my bad. But like, even that's like, you know, that's an intense thing for you to know
No, but
at like
like
17.
it's a needed conversation too, because at the end of the day, I mean, I got friends who like don't even know what they want to do like 2 years from now.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I got some friends who haven't even like applied to college and stuff. I'm like,
Yeah.
and then they're like, oh, I don't want to go for the whole college. I'm like, still, you can try out. I mean, there's
Yeah.
community college. There's this like, oh, but my GPA. I'm like, community college.
Yeah, for
They're not
real.
gonna care about your GPA. Plus, you can do whatever you want in that college.
And it's free.
It's free.
Yes.
Community college is free.
That's the other key right there,
Yeah,
you know?
that's people's biggest concerns. Is like, oh, my GPA is so low, and I don't got any money. And I'm like, okay, yeah, community college.
There's other
then.
options.
Right,
Other
there
options
are,
right
yeah.
Like, there's a lot of scholarships that are
Yeah.
like, looking at us. I mean, my school specifically is just like purely Latino based. So like, I mean, a lot of these people are like, I don't think I'm gonna get in anything, man. Like, I don't think I'm gonna get scholarships. I'm like, yeah, we are. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, you're first generation. You're this. You're that. Like,
Yeah.
you're gonna get so much from it.
Yeah, you got to explore your options. And I think that's also why like mentorship is so big to me.
Yeah.
And like at the farm within our programming, like we're really big on like you need to have older people around you. Like I think this idea that we've kind of like systemically come to where like it's all these individual families, right? It's like you and your siblings and your mom and dad, and that's it. That's so much pressure, you know? Like we used to live in community with people where like you had your aunties, you had your uncles, you had your neighbors, you had all these people who could help you, you know? So like
Exactly.
the youth need like lots of mentors with diverse perspectives, because yeah, maybe you don't want to go to college, but maybe you get a dope internship and you work into this field that you're like, this seems cool to me, you know? Maybe you don't know what you want to do, and you go to community college and then you figure that out. Like you got to have diversity around you, but like, you know, that's hard to come by, and I'm not putting all that pressure on the school system, because you know that's a lot for a teacher to do. But like,
but even like, it's good to just have like that kind of like circle of just like friends, family, and just people you look up to at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like, let's think about it, right? Like, you got a family and you don't really look at anyone right there, but you have a homeroom teacher that you really close to, and you really like what they do. They're over here pushing you like, hey, you got to do this, you got to do that. Then you're like, all right, I'm gonna do that.
Yes.
It pushes people to do like want to do stuff, not just because they have to, but because they want to. Though.
Yes, that's the only reason I graduated high school, was because I had an art teacher who pushed me like crazy.
To the art teacher,
Miss Schufeld. She's a professor at CSUN now.
Oh, nice.
And
right there
Professor
from Northridge Academy,
from,
right?
Yeah, she went right next door, Northridge Academy to CSUN.
Right,
yeah, she was like, I used to get in fights, I used to get kicked out of class, and they would always send me to her class, never the dean. They'd be like, go to Miss Schufeld, because they knew she.
So you were you were your own firecracker yourself.
Oh, that's you know, karma comes back to you. That's why my daughter
is 4-year-old
exactly.
Like, you know, like, mommy, I got your genes for sure.
For real. I look
and your
at her.
attitude.
You know, the sass is real in our house, you know. But it's my fault.
That's beautiful though. It's a beautiful thing
I
though.
did this
You know,
to
to have your
myself.
kids,
It's me. It's true.
Yeah.
But yeah,
No, you know, and I think just even, you know, one of the things that, you know, we're talking about how we're putting a little pressure on Carlos or just asking, but you know, but at the same time, you know, I think that's a good kind of culture to establish just in general, right? Because, you know, how many folks don't get like asked that by adults, you know, like youth, right? Like, hey, are you going to college? Or like, are you thinking about this? Like, you know, even just that. Because if like you don't even get those questions asked, then you might not even think about it, right? Like, I mean, not to say that, you know, schools don't do that, but sometimes like that personalization of like when you are meeting with different adults and like or mentors or you know, just in the spaces that youth are in with the adults, if those adults aren't really like pushing them in certain directions, not to at the end of the day, y'all gotta like figure out your own journey.
But somewhere, like pushing you somewhere.
So that you can find your own path.
Exactly.
You know?
So that they can develop their own interests from there and be like, you know what, I kind of like this. This is pretty tight.
Exactly.
Totally. Like
you know?
it's like something needs to be expected of you, but like no one should decide what that's gonna be for you.
That's their choice.
Right. It's your choice, but like we need to be able to put that pressure, that little heat under you to say like we want you to succeed.
Yes.
Whatever that's gonna be for you, whatever success looks like for you, but like we need to push you for success. You know.
Yeah.
100%. So why don't we do this? We're gonna push Carlos right now to push some buttons because we also have Carlos over here who's a DJ now. We're actually trying something new, so I'm actually kind of excited. So the way we're kind of doing stuff, obviously, we're a media broadcasting production right here. So Valley Views, KROJ, we do all kinds of stuff. And just want to thank everyone that's been supporting us, showing us love, because end of the day, that's what we're all about too, just showing that love right back to the community. And so we've been trying and experimenting with all kinds of new stuff. We have a YouTube channel, which we haven't really pushed out yet too much because we've been doing some experiments with it, but this interview will be on YouTube, and so some of the things we're doing differently is I'm kind of doing all the YouTube production like right now as we're speaking too, and then Carlos is going to be doing some of the music stuff now, so like that we're kind of like splitting up the roles, the duties, because like I said, Carlos is just awesome like that too.
Hey,
so Carlos, tell us what's on deck, because we're going to take a quick musical break and then we'll be right back.
We got Everything is Everything by Lauryn Hill.
Let's do it. And we'll be right back here on Valley Views, y'all.
Yo, see ya.
We about to step into one right. Everything is everything. What it's meant to be will be. After winter, must come spring. Change it comes eventually. I wrote these words for everyone who struggles in their youth, who won't accept deception instead of what is true. Gotta know the truth, y'all. It seems we lose the game before we even start to play. Not our game. Who made these rules? We're so confused. Easily led astray. Let me tell you that everything is everything. Everything is everything. Everything is everything. Everything. After winter must come spring. Everything is everything. Yeah. Our philosophy, possibly speak tongues, beat drums, Abyssinian Street Baptist, rap this and fine linen. From the beginning, my practice extending across the atlas. I begat this, flipping in together on the dirty mattress. You can't match this, rapper / actress, more powerful than two Cleopatras. Bomb graffiti on the tomb of Nefertiti. MCs ain't ready to take it to the Serengeti. My rhymes is heavy like the mind of Sister Betty. L Boogie spars with stars and constellations. Then came down for a little conversation. Adjacent to the king, fear no human being. Roll with cherubims to Nassau Coliseum. Now hear this mixture where hip hop meets scripture. Develop a negative into a positive picture. Now everything is everything. What is meant to be will be. Must come spring. Change it comes eventually. Sometimes it seems we'll touch that dream, but things come slow and not at all. They come slow, you know what I mean? And the ones on top won't make it stop. So convinced that they might fall. Let's love ourselves and we can fail to make a better situation. Tomorrow, our seeds will grow. All we need is dedication. Let me tell you that everything is everything.
the way that you talk to me. Even when you're not around, I feel you, boy. I feel you, boy. Yeah. Tangled in your love and your energy. Perhaps it was the way that you smile. I see you, boy. Oh, I need you, boy. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've been waiting my whole life to find someone like you. Find someone like you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've been waiting my whole life to find someone like you. Find someone like you. Maybe I want this to last forever. Maybe I want this. Can we make this last forever? Nothing's ever perfect, but you're perfect to me. I've worked, been asleep, you're a dream, I need you. Though we got a past, I want you. And even when it's bad, I love you. I've been waiting my whole life to find someone like you. Find someone like you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I've been waiting my whole life to find someone like you. Find someone like you. Oh, baby, maybe I want this. I want this to last forever. Oh, yeah. Maybe I want this. Can we make this last forever? Make it last, yeah. Oh, yeah, I've been waiting my whole life to find someone like you. Like you. Find someone like you. Like you, yeah. I've been waiting my whole life to find someone like you. Find someone like you. Tell me, can we make it last? I want this to last forever. I want this. Can we make this last forever?
Yes. And Carlos, tell us, who are we listening to on this set?
We were just listening to Find Someone Like You by, I don't know if it's, I'm so sorry if I get it wrong.
Snow Allegra.
Snow Allegra. Okay,
Yes,
my
yes,
bad.
yes.
She's so dope. She is so dope.
And
Yeah.
yes, so we are back, everybody, and it's just been just an honor to be here, sharing some space here with Alexys Romo from Black Thumb Farm. And Alexys, let's get into it here now too. I mean, we've been having just such a great conversation about just really energy that we're sharing really with each other, you know. But I really, for our listening audience, our viewers, just tell us a little bit more about now. So we talked a little bit about that connection you've had to the farm and that experience that really, you know, kind of got you there.
Yeah.
So where did this brainchild of yours of Black Thumb like begin?
Yeah.
And tell us a little bit about the actual Black Thumb Farm itself now. And you have all kinds of programs, but yeah, please share.
Oh man. Okay. So yeah, this is the Black Thumb Farm is gonna be my legacy. It's like I pour it all into this now.
Nice.
So I've been teaching like farming, gardening education for a little over 10 years now, and since I came back to the U.S.
Nice.
And Black Thumb Farm kind of came from this idea. So I was working for this really great organization called Enrich LA, teaching. They're like got school gardens everywhere in LA, and I loved it. And I wanted to do more though than just like teach gardening. I wanted to like be in the community. I want to have more connection with these kids, with their families, their parents. Like,
That's so true.
I just like I had this vision of like having like an abuela come into the garden and like seeing a plant and being like, oh, I this reminds me of my home country, and me being like,
or when I used to do this when I was like 5.
yeah, like I used to love gardening, or like and like being able to provide a space where like, you know, we're in this like densely urban populated area,
hard, right?
and like,
concrete
you know,
jungle
it's
to the max,
straight up, right? Like there's concrete everywhere,
Yeah.
and being able to like, you know, but a lot of people who live here in LA, especially here in the Valley, they didn't grow up
when it
like
was
that,
like that, yeah.
right? And like some of them were here when it was like a ranch, when there was like
True.
orange trees everywhere. Some of them remember like their home countries where like, you know,
Yep.
like my mother-in-law, she grew up in a ranch in Jalisco, and like she spent all this time with animals and plants. So anyway, I just felt like, you know, this idea that like it's supposed to look like this, or this is the way it is like, it's not right. Like this idea that like, oh, it's concrete and this is urban and this is new and this is the way it's gonna go. Like, nah, man, like it's not supposed to be like this. Like,
It's cool that it's like this now, but at the end of the day, you got to realize that it wasn't like this.
it wasn't like
forever.
this, no. And even questioning like, is this what's best? So I was working for all these schools, and then I was working for this one big private school, and I just felt like, you know, I'm passionate about food sovereignty. I'm passionate about food justice. I'm passionate about like, you know, giving it to the people, to my people. And I was just teaching all these like rich kids who didn't care. And I was like,
Wait
you know,
a minute, something's up here.
yeah, like
didn't feel right.
It didn't feel right,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And I had a few kids who cared here and there. Like, you know, don't get me wrong, it wasn't
Yeah.
all or nothing. You know, shout out to Kim Sanchez, my favorite student ever. Like,
There
you know,
you go,
she
there you go.
came from that
Shout out.
school. She followed me to
Yeah,
Black
yeah.
Thumb. She's out here in college. She doesn't love me anymore. It's fine. But like, I felt like I wanna give back to my people where I'm from, and
Yeah,
people
yeah,
who
yeah,
are
yeah.
growing up, you know, down the street from where I grew up, and who are experiencing the same thing. For some reason, you know, I'm getting old, and it's the same. So I wanted to give
How
people.
do we break that cycle?
Right,
that
we gotta
way,
break
right?
it.
Yeah, yeah.
True.
Exactly, like giving something new. So Black Thumb Farm, basically, like the school I was working for shut down. And it was a gift from the Lord, because I was like, I don't want to be here anymore anyway. I want to give back to my people. So
That's so true.
I met this girl, Annalisa, who was working at that school with me. And Annalisa is like, Black Thumb Farm would not exist without Annalisa, because she is the right hand. I basically come with 14 million ideas, and she's like, let's get it down to 3.
Nice.
And then I'm gonna make them
Nice.
happen. You know, like she is the make it happen person, as well as my husband, who he said I better shout out him,
Big shout out.
Big shout out.
who cares for our children, so I'm able to do this, because, you know, otherwise, you know, mothers can't do a lot without the support system. So thanks for him. But anyway, so Black Thumb
Oh, she
Farm.
said she was just like anyway.
Anyway,
Oh,
anyway. No,
wow.
I'm just kidding. I love you.
Big shout out. Big
I'm
shout
sorry,
out.
I'm just kidding. Eric Romo's the greatest.
All right, Eric.
He's great. He's great. So
You know what? And hold on. Let's give him a quick applause. Yay, Eric! Come on. All right. Anyways. All right. You got your applause, Eric. All right. Anyways.
You ain't not. No, I'm just kidding. Okay.
Yeah.
So I connected with Elliot over the pandemic. We started Black Thumb Farm, and we were at this other space, and it was so much drama at that other space, and we ended up turning into a mobile program where we were going to different urban farms in the valley. And we kept coming back to Cottonwood, because, you know, Elliot he has a great space, but also he cares about youth, and he
Right.
cares about young people. So I just felt like, man, when we were here, he would like reach out to the kids. The kids really liked him. They connected with him. It just felt like such a great piece. So, you know, he basically talked to Annalisa one week when I wasn't there and was like, you know, do you guys want to set up shop here? And we were like, absolutely.
You're
So
like, why not?
Right. So we just like, we got some grants, fundraise for the lease, and
That's
we
beautiful.
started making Black Thumb Farm our home at Cottonwood, and it's been so magical. And our goal is to empower youth with skills and tools so they can take back their health.
That's so
Now,
tight.
the health can be a lot of things, right? That's obviously physical health, nutrition, because we're working with, you know, plants, but also your mental health, your spiritual health, your emotional health, all of those things are tied into the work we're doing. So it's
So true.
it's a
you know?
big
Yeah.
mission. Yeah, and I think it's a big mission, and we take a lot of baby steps every week. So we have these Saturday programs. It's called the Farm Hands program, and on Saturday mornings from 9 to 11 we're at the farm, and I lead the program, and we teach like a quick lesson on various topics in farming that are all really important, but they all tie back to food sovereignty, right? So food sovereignty is this idea that like you have a system, a food system that everyone succeeds in it. It's not just the ground is good, not just the people are eating, not just someone's making money. It's everyone's thriving, and it's culturally appropriate, right? So you're not bringing all these weird foods from Europe and smacking them down in LA and being like, oh, eat these foods. That's not our food. That's not who we are. That's not our culture, right? So it's benefiting your culture, your community, your languages. It's all appropriate for you, and then everybody in the system.
Let's talk about that maíz, you know?
Exactly.
Let's talk about the potato, you know?
The tres hermanas, right? The three sister program. Like, you know, we got the frijoles, we got the maíz, we got the squash, the calabaza. Like, these
and it's
are
important
things,
because it originated from here.
it's originally, and the people who it belongs to are still here, right? And we tie that in. It's all of our kids are BIPOC kids. You know, we got black kids, indigenous kids, Latino kids, Asian kids. Like, it's all for the people who have been kind of pushed to the margins, right? Kids who have been, our cultures have been marginalized.
True.
And then we've been kind of like given these systems and these foods that are not necessarily appropriate for us and what's best for us. So we're teaching them, like, who are you? What's best for you? What's best for who you are, your culture, your history, teaching them the history about it, and then being like, here's how you do it. Let's all get in the dirt and grow it. Let's all come over here and harvest it.
I love that. Let's get in the dirt and grow it.
Right?
I mean, you got to trademark that.
I love it.
Because I feel like right now we're definitely in the dirt right here.
I know.
And this is in a good way, you know. And you know, tell me about you know, another thing that I was really impressed with when I got a chance to do the on the spot interview out there with y'all in December, because you guys were doing the wreaths at that point, is, you know, obviously, you know, I'm an educator, I teach, you know, and I saw some of my students there, you know, so big shout out to, like, you know, and former students like Angie and Yesenia, and I was like, whoa, you guys are here, you know. And tell me about a little bit more about you know, that some of the programs that you have, right? Like both for, I think you have like a fellowship and also like the internship or volunteers, or like, you know, it's all about empowering at different levels. Talk to us about that.
I mean, I just want everybody to, like, I want all the youth to come, even the people who are not a part of our youth. Like, I just want everybody to leave the farm feeling empowered, like they can do something on their own. You know, it's all about, like, you should be able to do something on your own and be able to do it for you and your people, right? Like, take care of your family, your loved ones, your friends, your homies, whoever. Like, it's about you and empowering you. So our fellowship program is fantastic. We're on our second round of fellows right now. Angie and Yesenia are our fellows this year, and they are, I mean, I can't say anything beyond, they're incredible. They're so great. Yesenia she has the memory of an elephant. Like, just, I'll be like, Yesenia, remind me to do this at the end of the day. And I will 100% forget. And she will always remember. No matter what she's doing, she will always remember. And Angie's so passionate about helping people. And she's always finding the one person who's, like, kind of on the outside and bringing them in. And, you know, it's so good. So
big shout out to Angie.
She's so good. Yeah, they're so great. So the fellowship is, it's like an internship, but we pay them, right? So it's a job. You get paid. And you meet, it's like a couple of days a week, a few hours a week, and they meet with Annalisa, who runs the fellowship program, and we are trying to help them to have some kind of, like, sustainable independence, right? So last week they learned about banking, right? We brought in a banker to come talk to them about, like, credit accounts. Should you open a line of credit? What is credit? Why is that important to you? Checking accounts, saving, how much money you should be saving, you know, like, we give them paychecks. So we're like, you know, what are you doing with it? Are you investing? Are you, you know, saving up for college, for school, whatever it is, whatever you need it for. But so that people have the know-how when they walk away with this. So you know what you want to do. You have those options.
And they have, like, that background knowledge.
They have the background knowledge. Because I know in schools, you know, they teach you how to open a checking account, but they don't always teach you.
Like, yeah,
and the financial system is a big deal. I mean, that's where a lot of black and brown people are kind of getting lost, because we don't understand, because no one's teaching us at a young age. Like, should I be investing in a 401k? What is a 401k? Am I ever going to be able to retire if I don't put money away? Well, where should I put the money? Like, who's even going to tell you this, you know? So, in my opinion, it's on purpose. But anyway, we can go on that.
It does sound like it's on purpose.
Right.
I mean, like, let's not even get into loan sharks. But go ahead, Carlos.
No, but, like, it's kind of unfair at the end of the day, because, like, where you got to get this info from? From your parents, from, like, your mentors at the end of the day. But it's never really the schools that are telling you, like, hey, this is what you got to do. This is how you do it. They just mention it.
And what if your parents don't know? Yeah. Like, my parents, like, you know, my parents got a little bit of money now, but, like, when I was growing up, they didn't have a bunch of financial knowledge. They weren't making great financial choices. So when I turned 18, they weren't like, oh, here, invest in these great bonds. You know, they didn't know that yet. So no one was giving them, and then they couldn't give it to me. So
and sometimes it's kind of like goes back to that whole idea. I mean, today is Super Bowl Sunday, you know, but like going back to this whole idea, the reason I mention that is because just because you have money doesn't mean you have the knowledge and know-how.
True.
Because that's why you do end up with a lot of NFL players who, you know, after they leave the NFL, end up bankrupt.
Yeah.
You know, these are folks
below the
like,
money.
Yeah, like kids that, you know, making like, you know, from like, you know, $200,000-$300,000, $400,000 to like, you know, millions. And they just, you know, I know the NFL has some professional developments for them now, like to kind of, you know, how to like invest or things like that. But still, there is just not enough of that.
Yeah.
And so it's just beautiful to hear what you're saying, though. It's like, even for whatever X amount, it doesn't matter that amount. But what matters is like being conscious, like kind of what Carlos is saying, right, Carlos? Because I mean, you're right. I mean, do you feel not to put our leader on blast, but I think it's just, but just like as just a real, truthful, honest conversation, you know, like, because I think this is something that we need to hear as educators or adults.
Yeah.
Someone that runs a nonprofit here and doing that already I'm already getting inspired about this. But yeah, do you feel like you have that kind of like financial know-how and like how to right now, you know?
Nah.
Yeah.
They give me well, here's the thing. If you were to talk about to our Alito High School itself, like they're gonna be like, oh, well, we give you a life skills class. You gave me that in 9th grade.
Right.
You know what I was doing in 9th grade?
Right.
I was playing video
14.
games. Yeah, 14. I'm over here getting ready to like for like quince practices and stuff, man. I am not gonna like care about this class.
Yeah.
And they give you like granted, right? They teach you how to like make bills and like all that stuff. But dude, they teach you that like at 14.
Yeah.
I know they give it to seniors at like 12th grade and stuff, but like very few seniors, and they only give it to them because they like, what is it? They're not caught up with their classes.
Oh yeah,
like that's a class that you need to do to graduate, but they give you in any time of the grade. And some of my friends got it during quarantine.
Yeah.
And they're over here. I asked them. They're like, "Oh, how's the class?" And he's like, "Dude, honestly, I just show up on Zoom and I leave. It's an easy day." And I'm like, all right, man.
Yeah. See, and that's not giving someone a tool to use in their life, which is exactly what you were talking about, Hector. Like if you don't have those tools, you can get caught up real quick, and it's yeah. So we're trying to prevent that, right? And the fellows do go through the gardening program, so they're learning the hands-on skills and tools, but they're also, you know, we're helping to give them a community of mentors. So we involve our board members. We involve people like the banker, Alex, who came in and talked. Like, we try to give them, you know, a bunch of assets. So when they leave and walk away, you feel like you have a community behind you. You have the Black Thumb Farm community. You could always rely on us. And you also have all these adults and mentors that you've connected with. So even if you're like, you know, we got Angie, who, not to blast Angie, but she's studying something in school and she's questioning, do I want to be studying this? Is this what the future I want to go into? If she changes her mind.
Yeah. Oh, trust me, sometimes I'll get texts from her.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Again, not to put her on blast, but
yeah, like,
that's
you know,
facts.
she thought she wanted to study something because she was like, I want to have, you know, she wants to have something like, consistent, right? You want to have consistency. You want to have a good paycheck. You want to take care of your family, all those things. But like, you might discover something that you're like, yo, that actually, I feel passionate about that. Actually, I care about that. Actually, I want to go down that venue. And now with these new mentors you have and this collection of like, you know, adults who are kind of looking out for you, you can rely on these people to help guide you in that way, you know, and they have the expertise. That's what's
They're
up.
like your counselors now.
Exactly. You know, and I'm not going to teach you about banking because I suck at banking, but I got a banker on stack and he can, you know, he'll help you out. So
it's all about connections and networking at the end of the day,
100%,
you know?
Yeah.
Man.
That and like kind of like linking it back up, like you said, like, you know, to Black Thumb. So if you really think about it, from what I'm learning here right now, Alexys, from you, is that, you know, Black Thumb is more than just the farming.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
It's really is like, I could just feel that energy, and when you're speaking here, I can like just see it, like that glow, as far as like what you're talking about.
That sort of like intimacy around it, you know what I mean? Because like you can tell it's really not just about farm. You want to like actually like teach these kids. You want to teach them different stuff, like regarding background knowledge of life skills and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Or even just like, you know, having like mentors to be there for you.
Yeah, I feel like for me, Black Thumb Farm is like, it's very inclusive of like our like three big words are grow, nourish, and empower. That's our big trade, right? So, but I think farming is a beautiful way to pull that in, because so many of us don't have that connection to nature, and I think that is so important because, you know, we got to sustain our bodies physically with good nutrition, and we've got to sustain the planet, or else, you know, I mean, climate change ain't no joke. Like, for real. True. It's 90 degrees and it's February.
Yeah. Like, what's up with that, right?
Oh my God. It was even sad like 2 months ago when it was like December and it was like 80.
You're right. Like, this was real. It's a real issue. Like, it's
already here. Like, I mean, if you're doubting this, I don't know how you can doubt it, because the evidence is like we're living through it.
Exactly.
Right? Like last summer, it was like 110 degrees, and we're like, no,
this is not okay. And like the longest,
and we barely get rain, you know.
For real.
Yeah, every year it's the hottest year, and it's like
more fires, and then the rain comes and it's a mudslide, and we don't even get to return. It's like,
or it's scary.
It's crazy
because I mean, like literally every year they like say like, oh, this is the hottest year. It's gonna be 115. Then next year it's 160. Now I'm like, nah, every year is gonna be the hottest year. Then
for real, and then we're just gonna catch on fire.
But that's just the norm now, sadly. You know,
it is, and I think though, like if you want people, like in my opinion, if you want people to care about this, they've got to have a connection to it, and that's what we're trying to provide. Like, I'm not gonna go tell my kids like, hey, you got to recycle, you got to compost, you got to make sure you're eating organic foods and all this stuff. If they're like, I don't even care about nature, I don't even spend time in nature,
like,
I don't even appreciate. Exactly, they don't feel it personally, you know. But when you have these kids who are like, you know, I come outside to the farm on Saturdays and I spend time half listening to Alexys and mostly staring at butterflies. I'm like, who cares? You're staring at butterflies. That's legit. You know, like, that's amazing. So
that's the purpose.
That's the purpose, right? The purpose is not me. The purpose is like for you to have this deep connection. I'm just trying to help facilitate it. But like, you know, if you can make connections to butterflies and to, you know, other species and to flowers and to eating good food, then you're not going to be out here like wasteful, making these poor environmental decisions because you care, because you've had a connection, you know? But I feel like there's this expectation from young people of like, you know, we're not all coming from privilege. We're not all coming from like, we live on these acres of beautiful green lands, you know? Like, some of us are growing up in like very densely populated areas. Some of us are growing up in the hood, you know, like, and we need
like no yard.
For real. I live in we literally just moved to an apartment with a backyard, and it's a tiny backyard. And every single day I tell my husband, I can't believe we didn't used to have a yard. I can't believe we used to, you know, we used
just
to.
Just a little green space.
Just a little green space, you know, so my kids can go outside a little bit and like plant a little flower seeds, you know, just, it's a big deal. So a lot of the kids on our farm, they don't even have that, but they have the farm. They have a place they come to every week where they're like, I know there's going to be beautiful flowers. Elliot's going to come out with some random thing growing, like peaches are in season. Y'all want some peaches. They get to hang out with ducks.
Let's not even talk about, the ducks I was going to say, and like, you know, the bees.
The bees. I mean, they feed the ducks every week. Like, we go through, and I didn't even talk about this yet. This is like my newest exciting thing.
Hold on. I mean, you got something new. Hold on, then let's go drum roll.
Black Thumb Farm.
Yes. Drop it.
We just started our own little mini CSA program, okay? So the beginning of our CSA right now is just our kids, but our kids are participating. CSA is community supported agriculture, right? So basically, like, they get to come, they help grow this food, they get to take a bag or a box of it home every week.
That's tight.
Every week they get to take some of this food home. And the goal is that we'll expand this program, be able to offer some of them for sale. So you'll be able to pay a monthly fee, and you can come pick up a box of Black Thumb Farm produce every month or every week or whatever it is. Yeah, so that's our long-term goal. But right now we're already starting with our kids. So they already get to come and they harvest enough food to, you know, feed their families, whatever. And it's dope because every week we have kids who've tried something new, whose parents try something from the farm, and then they'll come back and be like, hey, can I get more of this? My mom really liked it. Hey, my sister ate all the peas. Can I get extra peas this week? Hey, the broccoli was off the chain. Can I get more broccoli? And I'm like, yes. Like, you know, we're facilitating this, like, experience that is going to be long-lasting. Oh, my bad. Like, long-lasting. So that's I feel like that's at the essence of what we do. Now, I teach like history of the farming. We teach, you know, the practicals of composting. We teach, you know, these kids are out here working hard. But the most important thing is they have a skill that they feel like they can walk away and do something on their own, and they're having a positive experience in nature, a positive, beneficial, safe experience, right? It's safe because they get to be around people who look like them, who are coming from similar backgrounds as them, and who might have similar experiences, so they don't have to come be somebody else. You don't gotta walk into some nature club acting like you know everything about birds. You don't know nothing about birds, okay? But like,
just come as you are.
Come as you are. No, there's no pressure here. Just be yourself. Black Thumb Farm meets
you where you are.
Where you are, you know, that's the goal. So
I love that. And tell us here. So for folks that might be interested in Black Thumb, what are some ways for them to plug in, connect?
Okay.
As Alexis is fighting with the mic.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm like, I talk with my
okay.
hands.
It's all
I'm
good.
so
You're
expressive.
good. You're good.
I told it
You're
to Carlos in the beginning when he was like
Yeah, she
fixing
was
my mic.
like, "Can you like put up the mic or something?"
I know.
Like,
I was like, I'm gonna start screaming and I'm gonna
We might
smack
need
it.
to have like booster mics like way up at the top
I
or
know.
something.
Just
You
for
know,
me.
we're gonna have to
Just for
figure it
me.
out.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to carry a mic like that.
I know.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
It's all good. It's all good.
Okay, so you can follow us on Instagram at black.thumb.farm. So like the dot is the period. So black.thumb.farm. Our website is blackthumbfarm.org. Just blackthumbfarm.org.
Cool.
You can Venmo us some money if you want at Black Thumb Farm. We also have a donor box on our website. So if you're like, oh, this is such a cool cause, I want to make a donation, go on our
There you go.
website. There's like a bunch of links on each page, so you easily can make a website through this super secure website called Donor Box.
I might need to do that too for
I
us.
mean,
But that's good to know.
yeah. Donor Box is what's up, and
Cool.
and they're great about like GoFundMe is cool, but they take a big amount of they take
do.
a
Yeah.
pretty good chunk. So Donor Box doesn't. So
Nice.
and then all donations
know.
are tax deductible. So if you ever make a donation, you get a tax write off. But
Cool.
I think what we're really looking for right now. We got a couple more spots for kids. So if you're like listening to this and you're between 14 and 18 and you're interested in something like this, we've got a couple spots. We're almost maxed out because of COVID. We're like putting a cap on how many kids we let come. But this is the most kids we've ever had. So it's an
Nice.
amazing year already.
The more the merrier.
The more the merrier, right? And then next year we're launching a program which we've never done. Another
Uh-oh.
new thing.
Oh,
I know.
oh,
So
oh,
many
oh,
new things.
Wow. All right. Let's do another drum
Get
roll
that
then.
drum roll. Get that drum roll.
So next year, starting in September, we are launching Black Thumb Gardens, which will be these school gardens. So schools are signing up to partner with us.
That's so cool.
And we'll have a program on your school campus. So like people are building.
Watch out,
this
watch
summer
out.
we're building gardens at different schools, and then being able to come and do. So it's like a farming gardening program with the view of social justice. The
That's
lens
so
is through
cool.
social justice. We're always
okay.
talking about, supporting our people, giving our people the power, how to sustain that power, all those things, but through the lens of farming and gardening. So if you go to school and you're like, this sounds dope, but I can't come to farms on Saturdays and I wish they had at my school, holler at your counselor, principal, vice principal, super supportive
Talk to
teacher.
them.
See if we can make that happen at your schools.
Awesome. Well, on behalf of Valley Views, KROJ, Carlos and I, we just want to thank you, Alexys
this is
Romo
amazing.
from
Thank you,
Black Thumb
guys.
Farm for being here. And the last thing, just to send us off here, what final words of wisdom do you want to leave us
Oh
with?
my God. I talk so much. Oh man. I think if you can do anything for yourself, for your people, for the people you love around you, I would say just go outside. Everybody try to get some time outside, get some time in nature, get some time connecting. There's so much science and so many studies behind all the positive benefits that will happen when you do connect with nature and you spend time outside. But I think more so than anything, just do it for you. Do it for you.
Next time.
There it is, y'all. Well, you heard it here on Valley Views. Once again, thank you. We've had Alexys Romo, and have a beautiful and blessed, y'all, Sunday.
Hey.
Y copas de más, tú no me dejas en paz, de mi mente no te vas. Aunque sé que no debo